On the agenda tonight, we're jumping into part 2 of my analysis video on Eric Clapton and Luciano Pavarotti performing Holy Mother. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, in part 2, we're going to be focusing on Eric Clapton's lead work and just resuming the video where we left off in part 1. So we'll jump into the lead playing briefly, but something else that I didn't mention at the beginning was to listen out for this dynamic journey that we have, because we just start with Eric's guitar. That is it. And things gradually progress. We get other instruments being added in, instrument by instrument, and you know that includes the drum kit. When that comes along, obviously it's going to push the dynamic to a different place, but then we've got the full choir coming in at the end, so you just get this gradual climbing up of the mountain until you hit the peak at the end of the song. And very much when we have the guitar solo, that is going to be kind of way up there peak-wise, because we not only get the voice of the guitar, but Luciano is still singing. So it's really open dynamically. We will jump into it. Just have a quick listen. I mean, that's what I mean. Just the drum kit doing a little run into the solo, and now, fully in the middle of that snare. But the other thing is there's a really subtle run up there. It's that kind of thing. And there's a little bit of kind of palm mute in there as well. And oh. Actually, really good example there of something I've mentioned about Eric before. The way that, look out for his thumb and the way that it actually comes off the guitar, sometimes entirely, for the vibrato. Now, the reason that this is important, when he works his way up, by having this thumb free, it means that he's getting an even pitch to his vibrato, up and down. And what I mean by that is the vibrato is even with its waveforms. The frequency is smooth. It's something that doesn't have a speed differential in it. What I'm trying to say is that when he's playing, and you might see other players actually who vibrato and they're in a fixed position, they go like that, and that's a different sound going, because we're going fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, because we're kind of pushing up, and the tension on the string is changing. It's variable from each bend, and that I see loads of guitarists doing vibrato like that, and it's okay, it's fine, but it's not to my taste. I like to have a kind of freedom, and you might see when I vibrato, that the guitar moves with the vibrato to keep it smooth, and that's something that I very much kind of worked on wanting to be able to do. He has got that total freedom with his finger, but just have a look. See, look at that. The only thing that is touching the fretboard there is his first finger. So he's got all of that freedom just to move his hand up and down, and he's going to get an even vibrato by doing that. Not a vibrato that varies in speed. And then when we have this I think he does the bend with the third finger, but you can see how his technique now changes because he wants control. He's got the thumb over the top. And vibrato again. Taking that thumb over the top. But, I mean, it's just interesting to look at his technique. But if you're looking to get vibrato and work at your technique, I mean, Clapton's a great person to look at. Just looking at the way that he does it. It might be the fact that, you know, it just doesn't, it isn't something that sits well with you technique-wise to kind of totally leave everything off the fretboard and then come away. But, you know, you can experiment with it. And, you know, everybody's different. Everybody finds their own way of doing it. But if you're focusing on getting a really nice and even vibrato, then, you know, that's, in my opinion, the most important thing. You want your guitar to sound like a voice. And when you're talking about a guitar that sounds like a voice, of course, Eric Clapton's voice through his guitar is just unique. You just know it as soon as you hear it. Interestingly as well, his vibrato here is actually quite fast, because sometimes sometimes he will slow it down and make it a little bit less even, but then that's an artistic choice. It's not because he can't do a nice, smooth, even frequencied vibrato. And that kind of thing. He kind of just plays that note and throws his arm away. So cool. And that kind of thing, again. A little slide down. Loads of cool stuff here. And once we've gone slide. You know, slide and then up again, coming down. You know, something that when you get used to, you know, playing lead lines, either by Clapton, but just great blues players, you find these slides in there all the time. Again, there we had it. So it's that. And all of this, you know, it doesn't matter that it's just a couple of notes, because that's all that's needed at that point. And again, Eric is a great example of somebody who doesn't overplay and kind of lets the lead breathe, and for it to be like a voice rather than just kind of talking all the time. I just want to draw your attention to something that actually you don't see a lot of guitarists do, which is stop playing. So let's have a look at this again. There. So we had this, and then he just spends a bit of time letting it breathe and not putting in too much. I mean, how many times have you seen a player, you know, he might go, and they're kind of going off on one all the time, and you never see them just take a breath and calm down, and you don't need all of that stuff. Just especially in this kind of performance where less is definitely more. That's the amazing thing about Eric, is that he never plays in that way to try and take the limelight and show off. But because of the way that he plays, he takes the limelight, but it's not showing off. So it's that perfect approach of getting attention for the right reasons. And if somebody's trying to show off and play lots of notes all the time, often they get the attention for maybe 10 or 20 seconds, but then people have already heard everything. So then for the next 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and they're just playing the same stuff, you know, unfortunately you tend to lose interest. It's all about taking people on a journey. just before we stopped it, we did have a little change up in technique, a little bit of speed sprinkled in by Eric, and that's the point, that you want to just show a little bit of that to, you know, take people to a different place on the journey, but not over saturate that part of your playing. So for the most part, we've kind of had that, you know, really reserved here, and I think it was like a little a kind of trill, but you know, but it was more of a hammer on pull off, and it might have even been, I can't remember exactly what it was, but we had a little bit of that kind of thing. It's subtle, but I might take it back so we can have a listen so you know what I'm referring to. There we go, that was it. So, perfect timing. I'm not sure if he goes down to that A string, but if you want to keep the phrasing exactly the same. But this is the point, is that just sprinkling in there of technique, which sounds great, because then it gets your attention, because you haven't heard that kind of thing yet. It's just, you know, that ebb and flow of a solo to, you know, slow down, speed up, slow down, and, you know, sometimes just let it breathe and not play at all. Luciano's loving it, but that and I think Eric's putting in a few more picks than just kind of, you know, doing too many hammer-ons and pull-offs on that particular run. But that's the point again, that you have something that, you know, technique-wise is just on a different level to the rest of the solo that we've heard, just throwing in that little bit of speed, but then he'll go back into bend, going back down, single notes, vibrato. So once you've heard all that speed, he doesn't just keep on playing fast all the time, he's then slowed it right down again. I mean, so much. Yeah, he's spending so much time just on that one note, but that's the point. It doesn't matter. That's just giving you, sometimes keeping something the same is giving you variation, because you've played lots of stuff before that hasn't been the same. The advantage that Eric's got is this vibrato, total control, so that when he is on that one note, he's got that vibrato, so that all these the little wobbles, because I mean, vibrato for me is just a make or break technique. If you can do it and control it, then you're giving your guitar a voice. And you know, when you kind of, you might hear a line, and when you do it like that, somebody who hasn't got control of that vibrato, you might have some nice runs, some nice slides, but then when you're listening in for the voice of the guitar, the voice sounds like, you know, they're scared or something, because it's not control, it's not relaxed, it's not like you would have a voice singing. You know, great singers always have that even vibrato, as we've already discussed in this video, so that's what you want with your guitar playing. Take it from Pavarotti. Over that F4, hit the note, F4, put your finger on it, and then try and get this nice even vibrato to get it to sound like a voice. And then, yeah, when you can do that, it's great because you'll realize you don't need lots of notes because you can get every note on your guitar now to sing. And that's what people connect to. Anyway, thank you guys for requesting this video for me to take a look at. Let me know what you guys think. Keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!